The text message wasn't meant for me. I know this because my wife is sitting across from me at our anniversary dinner, and her fingers are still moving across her phone screen. The message reads, "He's so clueless. Can't wait for dessert in your room." My name is Angel, and I've spent 10 years married to a woman who just accidentally sent me proof of her affair. I delete the message before she looks up, maintaining the same pleasant expression I've worn all evening. The crystal chandelier above us catches the light in a way that reminds me of tears. "Everything okay, honey?" Eloise asks, finally setting her phone down. She's wearing the diamond necklace I gave her for our 5th anniversary. Her smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. "Perfect," I say, raising my wine glass. "To 10 years." She clinks her glass against mine. "To 10 more." The irony isn't lost on me. 3 months ago, I started noticing the signs. Late nights at work. Mysterious phone calls. Her best friend Melina's nervous laughter whenever I asked about Eloise's whereabouts. Our waiter approaches. Young, handsome, with a confidence that borders on arrogance. His name tag reads Vince. "Can I interest you in another bottle of wine?" he asks, his eyes lingering on Eloise a moment too long. "What do you think, dear?" I ask her, watching as she tucks a strand of hair behind her ear. A gesture I've seen her make 1,000 times, but never for me anymore. "Oh, yes," she says, her voice carrying that slight breathiness I used to love. "The Cabernet is wonderful." Vince nods, flashing a smile that's all white teeth and practiced charm. "Excellent choice. I'll be right back with that. My old friend Flynn warned me last week." "Something's not right, Angel," he'd said over beers. "People have seen her around town, and not at work events." I didn't tell him I already knew. Didn't mention the credit card statements showing hotel charges or the mysterious number that appeared on our phone bill every few days. "Remember our first date?" Eloise asks suddenly, pulling me from my thoughts. "That terrible Italian restaurant? The one where I spilled red wine all over myself?" I laugh, the sound hollow in my chest. "How could I forget? I was so nervous around you." "You were adorable," she says, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. Her wedding ring catches the light. "Still are." My phone buzzes, a text from Flynn. "You okay, brother?" I type back quickly. "Fine, everything going according to plan." Vince returns with our wine, performing the opening ritual with practiced efficiency. As he pours Eloise's glass, their fingers brush. It's subtle. So subtle that 3 months ago I would have missed it. "Would you like to see the dessert menu?" he asks. "Yes, please," Eloise says, her eyes sparkling. I hear the chocolate souffle is to die for. I watch her watching him walk away, and something inside me hardens. The evidence is all there. Photos, messages, hotel receipts, carefully gathered and waiting in an envelope under the pillows in the staff room. "Angel?" Eloise's voice pulls me back. "You seem distracted." I smile, raising my glass again. Just thinking about how lucky I am. She beams, completely missing the ice in my voice. I'm the lucky one. My phone buzzes again. Another message from her, clearly meant for someone else. "Meet me after dessert. Same room as last time." I delete this one too, my hands steady despite the rage building in my chest. Dessert, it seems, is going to be interesting tonight. 3 months earlier, I sat in my car outside the Grand Hotel, watching Eloise's car pull into the parking garage. She'd told me she had a late meeting with clients. The dashboard clock read 9:47 p.m. My phone rang. "Flynn, you sure you want to do this?" he asked. "Once you start digging." "I need to know," I said, gripping the steering wheel. "Things haven't been right for months." I followed her inside, keeping my distance. The lobby was quiet, just a few guests milling around. Eloise walked straight to the bar where Melina was waiting. Finding a spot behind a large potted plant, I could hear their conversation clearly. "He doesn't suspect anything," Eloise was saying, stirring her martini. "Angel's too wrapped up in his work to notice." Melina shifted uncomfortably. "Are you sure about this? Angel's a good guy." "Good doesn't mean exciting," Eloise replied. "Besides, what he doesn't know won't hurt him." I felt my stomach turn. A waiter approached their table, the same one from our anniversary dinner, Vince. He wasn't wearing his uniform, just jeans and a fitted black t-shirt. Ladies, he said, his voice smooth as honey. Can I join you? Eloise's face lit up in a way I hadn't seen in years. I thought you were working tonight. Switched shifts, he said, sliding into the seat next to her. Couldn't miss our usual Thursday meetup. I pulled out my phone and started recording. The next hour was torture, watching them laugh, touch, share private jokes. Melina looked increasingly uncomfortable but said nothing. Later that week, I hired a private investigator. The photos arrived 3 days later. Eloise and Vince entering various hotels, holding hands in secluded restaurants, kissing in his car. My phone buzzed. A text from Flynn. Got what you asked for. Hotel records show room bookings under the name Jace. It's his middle name. I'd been methodical, gathering evidence piece by piece. Credit card statements, phone records, email screenshots from an account I wasn't supposed to know about. Each new discovery was like a knife twisting deeper. Today, before our anniversary dinner, I'd arrived early at the hotel. The staff room was easy to access, a service door left propped open by a cleaning cart. The envelope I placed under the pillows contained everything: photos, messages, hotel receipts, plus a note for Vince. Enjoy dessert. Now, sitting across from Eloise at dinner, I watch her check her phone for the 5th time in 10 minutes. Everything okay? I ask, knowing exactly what she's waiting for. Oh, just work stuff, she says quickly. Too quickly. You know how it is. I do, I reply, taking a sip of wine. By the way, how's Melina? Haven't seen her lately. Eloise tenses slightly. She's good, busy with the new job. The one at the advertising firm? Yes, that's right. It's not right. Melina still works at the same company she's been at for years. Another lie to add to the pile. My phone vibrates. Flynn again. She's been seen with him in public places everyone knows except you. Time to end this, brother. I look up at Eloise, studying her face. She's beautiful, just like the day I married her. But now I see the deception behind her smile, the calculation in her eyes. Vince approaches our table again, carrying dessert menus. Have you decided what you'd like for dessert? Eloise's eyes meet his, and I catch the silent message passing between them. I say slowly, tonight's dessert will be unforgettable. Neither of them notices the edge in my voice, too caught up in their own secret world. But soon, very soon, they'll understand exactly what I mean. The restaurant buzzes with conversation, but I'm focused on the subtle dance happening between my wife and our waiter. Vince's hand lingers on Eloise's shoulder as he pours more wine. She adjusts her necklace, tilting her head just so, a move I've seen her practice in the mirror countless times. Would you excuse me? Eloise says, standing up. Powder room. I nod, watching as she walks away. Her phone stays on the table, a calculated move to appear transparent. 3 minutes later, Melina appears at our table, slightly out of breath. Angel, what a surprise. Her voice is too high, too forced. Anniversary dinner? 10 years, I say, gesturing to the empty chair. Join us while Eloise is in the bathroom? She sits, fidgeting with her napkin. 10 years? Wow, that's something. It certainly is. I lean forward. You know, Melina, I've always appreciated how you've been there for Eloise. Through everything. She pales slightly. That's what friends are for. Indeed. I slide a folded napkin across the table. Would you give this to Vince when you see him? I'm sure you will. Her hands shake as she takes it. Why would I? Please, I say quietly. We both know why. The restaurant manager, Sean, approaches our table. Is everything to your satisfaction, sir? Perfect, I reply. By the way, is that photographer still here? The one taking pictures for the hotel's website? Sean nods. Yes, she'll be here all evening. Wonderful. Could you ask her to get some shots of our table later? It's our anniversary. Of course, sir. Melina stands abruptly. I should go. Happy anniversary. I watch her hurry to the bar where she hands the napkin to Vince. His face changes as he reads it, eyes darting to our table. I raise my glass to him. Eloise returns, cheeks flushed. Was that Melina I saw? Just stopped by to wish us happy anniversary, I say. Funny running into her here. A server I don't recognize slips a note under my water glass. From Flynn, "You okay?" Vince returns with our dessert menus, his confident demeanor slightly cracked. "Chef's special tonight is a chocolate souffle. Takes 20 minutes to prepare." "Perfect timing," Eloise says, her voice honey sweet. "We're in no rush." "None at all," I agree. "By the way, Vince, did you check under your pillow in the staff room?" He freezes, color draining from his face. "I... what?" "The envelope. You should really take a look before dessert." Eloise looks between us, confusion crossing her features. "Angel, what are you talking about?" "Just making conversation," I say lightly. "Vince seems like the kind of guy who appreciates surprises." Vince backs away from our table, nearly colliding with another server. Through the window, I see Flynn standing outside, giving me a subtle nod. "You're acting strange," Eloise says, reaching for her phone. "Is everything okay?" "Everything's exactly as it should be," I reply, watching as Vince disappears toward the staff room. "How about that souffle?" My phone buzzes. A message from Vince's number. "What the hell is this? We need to talk now." Eloise's phone chimes simultaneously. She reads it, her face going white. "I need to," she starts. "Use the bathroom again?" I finish for her. "Of course, take your time. Dessert's coming soon." She practically runs from the table. Through the dining room's glass panels, I see her meet Vince by the staff elevator, both of them clutching the photos I'd left. The photographer Sean arranged moves into position, camera ready. Everything is falling into place. I check my watch. Dessert will be served in exactly 15 minutes, and it's going to be a dish best served cold. While Eloise is gone, I pull up the video on my phone, the one that started all of this. 3 weeks ago, a colleague sent it to me. Eloise and Vince at a cafe across town, looking very much like more than friends. "Thought you should see this," the message read. My hands shake slightly as I watch it again. Their intimate gestures, the way she throws her head back laughing, a laugh I haven't heard in months. A text from Melina pops up. "Angel, please don't do this. Let me explain." I type back, "Like you explained when you covered for her at the Thompson wedding? Or when you lied about her work meetings?" "I tried to warn her," Melina replies. "Last week I told her you were asking questions." Another piece clicks into place. That's why Eloise suddenly became more attentive, suggesting this anniversary dinner. Damage control. Flynn slides into the empty seat across from me. "They're upstairs. Room 4 out of 12. Want me to tell you what they're saying?" "No," I say, pulling out the divorce papers from my jacket. "Let them dig their own grave." "Remember when you first met her?" Flynn asks, his voice gentle. "At my housewarming party?" I do remember. Eloise wore a blue dress, and we talked all night about art and dreams. She wanted to open her own gallery someday. I wanted to support her every step of the way. She said I was different. I tell Flynn that I really saw her. "You did." She's the one who stopped looking. A commotion erupts from the direction of the elevators. Raised voices, the sound of something shattering. "How long?" Vince's voice carries through the restaurant. "How long have you been lying to me?" Heads turn as Eloise's response echoes. "Please, not here." "You said he didn't know anything," Vince continues. "You said you were leaving him." Flynn squeezes my shoulder and disappears just as Eloise storms back into the dining room, mascara smeared, clutching her purse. Vince follows, waving the photos I planted. "Your husband knew everything," he shouts. "Every hotel, every meeting, every lie." The restaurant falls silent. All eyes are on our table. Melina appears, trying to calm the situation. "Please, both of you, let's take this somewhere private." "Private?" Vince laughs bitterly. "Like how you helped them keep this private for months? Tell everyone how you booked the hotel rooms, made the excuses?" I remain seated, taking a slow sip of wine. The photographer's camera clicks rapidly. "Angel," Eloise pleads, reaching for me. "I can explain everything." I move my hand away. "Like you explained where you were last Thursday? Or the Thursday before that?" "I never meant to get caught," I finish for her. "That's the only thing you never meant to do." Vince throws the photos onto our table. They scattered like fallen leaves. Eloise and him kissing in his car, holding hands in hotel lobbies, sharing intimate dinners. You told me he was clueless, Vince says to Eloise, that he was too absorbed in his work to notice anything. But he noticed everything. The restaurant manager approaches cautiously. Should I call security? No need, I say, standing slowly. I think we're done here. Though you might want to check room 412. I heard something break up there. Eloise sinks into her chair, her carefully constructed world crumbling around her. Melina hovers nearby, looking like she might be sick. My phone buzzes one last time. Flynn, ready when you are. I straighten my jacket, looking at the wreckage of my marriage spread across the white tablecloth. Now, I say calmly, about that dessert. I step outside into the cool night air, my hands finally allowing themselves to shake. The urge to storm upstairs and confront them directly pulses through me, but Flynn's steady presence keeps me grounded. Deep breaths, he says, lighting a cigarette. Remember the plan. I want to kill him, I admit, my voice raw. No, you don't. You want them to suffer, and they will, legally. A couple walks past us, stealing glances. Word of the scene inside has probably spread through the hotel by now. My phone lights up with messages from Eloise. Please let me explain. It's not what you think. Can we talk somewhere private? Flynn reads over my shoulder. Don't respond. Let them sweat. Did I cause this? I ask, the question that's haunted me for months finally escaping. Was I not enough? Don't, Flynn cuts me off. I watched you love her for 10 years. You gave her everything. Through the restaurant windows, I can see Eloise crying at our table while Melina tries to comfort her. Vince paces nearby, running his hands through his hair. Remember what we discussed, Flynn says. Revenge versus forgiveness. 2 weeks ago, sitting in Flynn's garage, we'd had that conversation. I'd shown him all the evidence, asked him what he would do. Forgiveness is for people who deserve it, I told him. They don't. Now I pull out my phone and send a text to Sean, the restaurant manager. Time for phase 2. Inside, Sean nods subtly and approaches Vince. Their conversation is brief, but Vince's face turns pale. He looks at his phone, then at Eloise. What did you tell Sean? Flynn asks. That Vince has been stealing from high-end bottles and charging customers full price. I have proof of that too. Jesus, how long have you been planning this? 3 months, I say, watching Vince argue with Sean. Every detail. My phone buzzes again. This time it's Melina. Angel, she's hysterical. What's in that envelope you left upstairs? I type back, ask her about the money she took from our joint account to pay for their hotels. Inside, Melina reads the message and whispers to Eloise. The color drains from my wife's face. The photographer's getting everything? I ask Flynn. Every tear, every confession, every moment of their public humiliation. Sean escorts Vince toward the staff exit, their heated discussion drawing more attention. Eloise tries to follow, but is stopped by another manager. Time to go back in, I say, straightening my tie. You sure? We could just leave them to implode. I shake my head. No, I want them to see me walk away. I want them to know exactly what they lost. Flynn grabs my arm. Just remember, don't let them turn you into the bad guy. Stay calm. Trust me, I say, pulling the divorce papers from my jacket. I'm done being the fool they think I am. We walk back into the restaurant just as Eloise discovers her credit cards have been declined. I had called the bank hours ago, reporting suspicious activity. Angel, please, she starts as I approach. We can fix this. I place the divorce papers on the table. Actually, we can't. What's that? Melina asks, though her face shows she already knows. Freedom, I reply, my voice steady. For all of us. From upstairs, there's more shouting. Vince must have found the second envelope, the one with proof of his theft. The restaurant has become a theater, and every guest is watching our drama unfold. But for the first time in months, I'm not acting anymore. I check my watch, right on schedule. Now, I say, loud enough for nearby tables to hear, who's ready for dessert? The shouting from upstairs grows louder. Glass shatters, followed by the thud of something heavy hitting the wall. You ruined everything! Vince's voice carries through the ventilation system. They have proof of the theft. I'm going to lose my job. I take another sip of whiskey, letting the chaos unfold. The restaurant guests have given up, pretending not to watch. Angel, Eloise whispers desperately, "What did you do?" Before I can answer, Vince storms back into the dining room, his uniform disheveled. He's clutching both envelopes now, photos spilling out. "You?" He points at Eloise. "You swore he didn't suspect anything. Now I'm fired and probably facing charges." "Charges?" Melina stands up. "What charges?" "Ask her." Vince throws a stack of receipts on the table. She knew I was skimming from the expensive wine sales. She helped cover it up. The restaurant manager, Sean, appears with two security guards. "Sir, I need you to leave the premises." "Oh, I'm leaving." Vince laughs bitterly. "But first, let me tell everyone about dear sweet Eloise and her friend Melina." Eloise grabs his arm. "Don't you dare." "Why not?" He shakes her off. "Your husband already knows how you used his money to pay for our rooms, how Melina booked them under fake names, how you both laughed about fooling him." The photographer circles the scene, camera clicking rapidly. Several guests have their phones out recording. "That's not true," Melina protests weakly. "I never laughed." "Really?" I pull out my phone, playing a recording. Melina's voice fills the air. Angel's so focused on his work he'd never guess. It's almost too easy. Eloise collapses into her chair, mascara streaming down her face. "How long have you known?" "Long enough to document everything," I say calmly. "The money transfers, the hotel bookings, the fake business trips, even your little system with the wine sales." "Sir," Sean addresses Vince, "the police are on their way regarding the theft." "Police?" Vince's arrogance finally cracks. "You called the police?" "Actually," I interject, "that was me. The evidence is quite clear. Premium wines sold as house wines, the difference pocketed. Very sloppy record keeping, by the way." Melina tries to slip away, but Flynn blocks her path. "Leaving so soon? But we haven't gotten to your part yet." "My part?" "The credit card you opened in Eloise's name," I say. "The one you used to book their little rendezvous. Fraud is a serious offense, Melina." The color drains from her face. "That's not, Eloise asked me to—" "Stop talking," Eloise snaps. "Just stop." More crashes from upstairs. Security guards radio about damage to room 412. "You planned all this," Eloise realizes, looking at me with new eyes. "The dinner, the envelopes, the police." "I learned from the best," I reply. "You taught me all about planning and secrets." Vince makes a break for the kitchen exit but is caught by security. The sound of handcuffs clicking echoes through the now silent restaurant. "Angel?" Eloise reaches for me one last time. "Please, we can work this out." I stand up slowly, straightening my jacket. "Actually, we already did. The divorce papers are quite thorough. Your lawyer will especially enjoy the evidence appendix." "You're destroying everything," she sobs. "No," I correct her, my voice steel. "You did that. I'm just serving dessert." The first police officers enter the restaurant as Flynn hands me my coat. The matron approaches with an apologetic smile. "Sir, about your bill." I pull out my credit card. "Add their tables, too. It's a special occasion, after all." The restaurant has become absolutely silent, all eyes on our table waiting for the final act. I stand, commanding the attention of everyone in the restaurant. The silence is absolute, broken only by Eloise's quiet sobs and the subtle click of the photographer's camera. "Since everyone's here," I announce, my voice carrying across the room, "I'd like to make a toast to 10 years of marriage." Flynn hands me a fresh glass of champagne. Eloise looks up, mascara streaked across her cheeks. "You see, I had this whole evening planned differently," I continue. "Romantic dinner, reminiscing about our wedding day, maybe even dancing. Instead, I got to watch my wife coordinate with her lover right in front of me." "Angel, please stop," Eloise whispers. "But why stop now? The truth is just getting interesting." I turn to address the room. "Did you know that my wife and her friend here have been running quite the operation? Fake business trips, forged credit cards, even helping our friend Vince steal from this very restaurant." Melina tries to stand, but Flynn gently pushes her back into her seat. "The police are very interested in those credit card charges," I say, "especially the ones under my name that I never authorized. Two police officers approach Vince, who's still being held by security. Sir, we need you to come with us. This is insane, Vince protests. Eloise, tell them. Tell them what? I ask. About the stolen wine? The forged charges? Or maybe about the money missing from our joint account? Eloise's head snaps up. You knew about the account? I knew everything. I pull out my phone, playing another recording. Her voice fills the room. Angel's such a fool. He actually thinks I'm working late. The restaurant guests murmur, some shaking their heads, others recording on their phones. Mr. McDonald, Sean approaches. The detective would like to speak with you about the theft charges. Of course, I turn to Eloise. Oh, and honey, you might want to call your lawyer, though I should warn you, the evidence I sent to them this morning might make things difficult. What evidence? Melina asks, her voice shaking. Everything. I gesture to the scattered photos and documents. The hotel receipts, the forged signatures, the fake business expenses, even those lovely messages you two exchanged about how to keep me in the dark. The police are now speaking with Vince in the corner, his face ashen as they read him his rights. You've ruined my life, Eloise says through tears. No, I reply calmly. You did that yourself. I just made sure everyone knew the truth. I raise my glass again. To new beginnings. And to karma, which, as it turns out, doesn't need help. It just needs patience and good documentation. Scattered applause breaks out across the restaurant. An elderly woman at a nearby table gives me a thumbs up. The divorce papers are on the table, I tell Eloise. Your lawyer will receive their copy in the morning, along with copies of everything else. Melina starts to speak, but I cut her off. The fraud department will be contacting you tomorrow. I'd suggest being honest with them. It tends to help with sentencing. Flynn appears at my side with my coat. Ready? I look at the wreckage of my marriage one last time. The scattered evidence, the tears, the approaching police officers. 10 years reduced to criminal charges and public humiliation. Just one more thing, I say, placing my wedding ring on the table. You can keep this. Consider it payment for teaching me the value of trust. As Flynn and I walk toward the exit, the restaurant erupts in whispers and movement. Behind us, I hear Eloise break down completely, Melina being questioned by police and Sean directing the photographer to capture everything. The matron holds the door open, smiling slightly. Happy anniversary, sir. Yes, I reply, stepping into the cool night air. I believe it is. Flynn and I sit at the hotel's rooftop bar, watching the city lights flicker below. My phone hasn't stopped buzzing, messages from friends, family, even Eloise's relatives. News travels fast. Look at this, Flynn says, showing me his screen. Someone posted a video of the restaurant scene. The comments are overwhelmingly supportive. Sir? A server approaches with a bottle of premium whiskey. Compliments of the management. Mr. Sean says it's the real stuff, not the watered-down version. I can't help but laugh. Thank you. My phone lights up with a message from Sean. Police found more evidence in Vince's locker. He's looking at serious charges. Your documentation sealed the case. You know what's funny? I tell Flynn, pouring us both a drink. I kept thinking I'd feel empty after this, but I don't. Because you took control back, he replies. Speaking of which, he nods toward the entrance where Melina stands nervously. She takes a hesitant step forward. Angel, I need to tell you something. Save it for the police, Flynn starts, but I raise my hand. No, let's hear it. I tried to stop her, Melina says, her voice breaking. 2 months ago, I told her you were too good to lose. She said I was being dramatic. That's not why you're here. She pulls out her phone, hands shaking. There are more accounts, hidden ones. I helped her set them up. I'm turning everything over to the police tomorrow. Why tell me this? Because you deserved better, she whispers, and because I can't live with what we did. After she leaves, Flynn whistles low. That'll help with the divorce settlement. My phone buzzes again. A message from Eloise. I never meant to hurt you. I delete it without responding, then open my contacts. One by one, I delete her number, her email, her social media. Each tap feels like breaking another chain. Your room's ready, Flynn says. Suite 8112, far from the crime scene. Actually, I stand up, gathering my jacket. I think I'll head home. You sure? After everything tonight? That house is mine. Paid for it myself. I'm not hiding anymore. As I wait for my car at the valet, Sean approaches with an envelope. The photographer's shots, he explains. Thought you might want them. Though from what I hear, the police have copies too. Thank you, I say, for everything. No, thank you. We've suspected Vince's theft for months but couldn't prove it. You did us a favor. Driving home, I take the long route through downtown. The city feels different now. Cleaner somehow. My phone keeps buzzing with notifications, but they don't matter anymore. At home, I walk through each room, turning on lights, reclaiming my space. In the bedroom, I open the closet and start pulling out Eloise's clothes, piling them by the door. Tomorrow, they'll go to charity. My phone rings. Flynn. Just checking you're okay. I am, I realize, surprising myself. Really am. Good, because Eloise just got arrested. Something about those credit cards Melina mentioned. I sit on the edge of the bed, letting that sink in. You know what? I don't need to know the details. No, Flynn agrees. You don't. After we hang up, I walk to the window and open the curtains wide. The city sparkles below, full of possibilities. On my phone, I delete the last traces of my old life. The photos, the evidence, the recordings. I don't need them anymore. The sun is rising. I've never seen the dawn look quite so bright.